We all messed up there. Let's start over. Welcome to Clear Start Mondays. I'm John Heyman, a mental performance coach, and tonight I am your host. Each Monday, we do three simple things. We ground your nervous system, we write through a few honest questions, and you leave with one clear move for the week. You will not be put on the spot. You don't have to share anything out loud. This isn't group therapy. It's not a hustle session. It's not a motivational speech. It's a reset. You are here to be a human with a pen and paper and a nervous system that's probably tired. Tonight is the final week of our mental health month arc, and I want to be upfront about something. Tonight is not a wrap up. I'm not going to walk you back to the last 4 weeks like a highlight reel. If you were here, you felt it. And if you weren't, you can go back and watch them anytime. But tonight is about what comes next. Because everything we've been doing inside this room, the grounding, the writing, the catching the voice mid-sentence, the practice was for the moments it happens when you're not in this room. Tuesday at 2 p.m., when your boss says something that hits a nerve and the old voice fires up before you can blink. Or Thursday night, when you're lying in bed running the mental highlight reel of everything you should have said differently. Or maybe it's Saturday morning when you wake up with no plan and the voice just starts filling in the silence with judgment. Those moments when nobody's watching, when there's no session, there's no prompt, I'm not here, there's no one to say grab your pen. That's where this lives or dies. And that's what tonight is about. It's how you carry this into the rest of your life and how to use what you've built in these moments that actually matter. Because we're just getting started. There is so much more ahead. We're going to be covering self-love. We're going to talk about how to counter the voice with something real. We're going to build the kind of habits that actually hold. And tonight, we're going to bridge it all together. So before we talk about anything, before we think about anything, just let your body arrive. Just breathe. I'm maneuvering the microphone. I want to invite you to close your eyes. Let the air around you go into your lungs and fill you up. Take a couple deep breaths and notice the rising and falling of your chest and stomach with each breath. Go ahead and feel your feet on the ground. We're just noticing these physical sensations. See if you can find your big toe on one foot. Go ahead and see if you can find your big toe on your other foot. See if you can find your pinky toes on each foot. Go ahead and wiggle all of your toes for me. Notice where your body is touching whatever you're sitting on. Unclench your jaw. Relax your face and skull. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. Hold them for a second. Feel that muscle tension in your shoulders and just drop it. Go ahead and take one long, slow breath in through your nose. And notice the sensation of air as it hits your nostrils. Pause briefly at the top. Exhale gently through your mouth. And notice the sensation of air leaving your lips. Very good. Most people start their week already reacting, already solving, already bracing. If you notice that in yourself, nothing is going wrong. This grounding practice that we're going through right now is how we set the pace for clarity. There's nothing to achieve tonight. There's nothing to perform. You don't need to be on, just be here. I want to invite you to a visualization. Keep your eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Imagine your mind as a snow globe, and inside the glass, the thoughts, worries, and stress of the week, things outside of your control, other people's moods, the what ifs in your life, they are the thoughts swirling around inside, the snowflakes inside. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm sending this link here. So all week long, that snow globe has been getting stirred up without us realizing it. Every notification, every responsibility, every demand, every shift of attention, every interaction you've taken on emotionally, every moment that you felt rushed, behind, or overwhelmed is a flake falling. I want to invite you to picture setting that snow globe down. Gently, easily. Hands off. There's no effort, it's just still. Watch the pieces float and fall. One by one, let them settle. Each piece drifting down, resting on the bottom. Notice the moment that last flake has fallen. The water becomes clear, and it's not because you forced anything, but because you've stopped stirring it. Just breathe. If your globe hasn't settled yet, that's okay. You didn't do this wrong. We're just noticing. So go ahead and ask yourself quietly, what am I carrying into this session that I just don't need right now? Whatever's coming up for you, it's okay. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to understand it. Just admit that you have it and just say, I don't want this right now, and set it down. Set it down beside you. You're welcome to open your eyes and return to the room. Thank you for your patience. I had to text a colleague. Here's what I know about Monday nights. You show up, you ground, you write, something shifts. You walk out feeling a little more clear than you walked in, and then Tuesday happens. Your alarm goes off, your inbox is full, someone says something sideways, and before you can even think about it, that old voice is already running the script. You already know what happens next. The tightness in your chest, the story that plays, the version of you that reacts before the version of you that's been doing this work even gets a chance to show up. That's the gap we're talking about tonight. The gap between who you are in this room on Monday and who you are at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday when no one's watching. Because the voice is not waiting for a session to show up. It doesn't schedule itself around your personal development. It fires in the car, in the kitchen, in the middle of a sentence you wish you could take back. And you already have something for that moment. You've been building it for 4 weeks. You can catch the pattern. You know what the voice sounds like when it's not yours. You have 2 words that can interrupt it before it finishes its argument. Start again. Remember that anchor phrase? But here's what we haven't done yet. We haven't talked about how to use that in the middle of a real day, in real moments with real people and real pressure, with no pen in your hand. That's what tonight is for. And I want to say one more thing. This is the end of my mental health month arc, but it's absolutely not the end of the work, because we're going to talk about self-love in the weeks ahead, and we're going to talk about how to counter the voice with something that's true, and we're going to talk about building our habits that stick with us because they're built on awareness instead of willpower. There's more coming, I promise, and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. So go ahead. Let's grab something to write with. Let's get into this. Same rules as always. Do not write the right answer. Write the honest answer. If this is your first time here, answer these questions anyways, to the best of your ability, okay? I want you to think about a specific moment from this past week. A moment when that inner voice showed up in your head and no one else knew. Maybe it was in your car and you were on the way home from something, or maybe it was in the bathroom at work. Maybe it was when you were lying in bed. Maybe it was when you were standing in the kitchen staring at the dishes, wondering why everything feels like so much. A moment where that voice up here comes in and it ran that old script. There was no room, no session, no me to help you. Where were you when this moment happened? What triggered it? What did the voice actually say? And I'm asking for specifics because this is where the work gets real. It's one thing to catch the pattern in a room where someone's guiding you through it. It's something else entirely to catch it on a random Thursday when you're alone with it. And I want to be honest with you. Most of the time, you won't catch it. The voice will fire, the reaction will happen, and you'll realize 20 minutes later that you were running on autopilot the whole time, and it's done. It's just, it happens. That's normal. It's not failure. That's the thing we're building the muscle for. So that ratio happens less. That's what we're doing, okay? But I'm guessing there's at least one moment once this week, if you've been here before, the one flicker, 1 second where you heard that voice and something in you went, oh, there it is. That's the moment that I want you to write about. And if this is your first time here, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, think about the last time you were mean to yourself. Answer this question like that. Where were you? What triggered it? And what did it say? Let me go ahead and put some 3 minutes on the clock here. All right, let's do it. Think about a specific moment from this past week. In the car, maybe in your bathroom at work, maybe it was lying in bed before you went to sleep. And that old voice came in, it ran its script. Where were you? What triggered it? And what did it say? Be specific with all three of those things. Just about a minute to go. Think about a moment this last week where you didn't catch yourself, or you caught yourself late. That internal voice, where were you? What set it off? What did it say? Be specific. About 40 seconds to go here. Nice. Well done. Well done. Let's go on to question 2. Look at what you just wrote. That moment, that place, that voice. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're back in that exact moment. The same place, the same trigger, the same voice running its script, but this time, right in the middle of it, you say two words to yourself. You say, start again. What happens next? I'm not asking you to imagine the voice disappearing. It doesn't disappear. It's not going to stop showing up because you learned a phrase. That voice has been with you for decades. It's not going anywhere, but start again isn't about making the voice stop. It's about choosing what you do next. The voice fires. It says its thing, and instead of following it down the hallway into the room where you spend the next hour feeling small and you pause, you take a breath. You stay alert and you start again. And you do something different for the next 30 seconds. Maybe that means unclenching your jaw and taking a breath before you respond to an email. Maybe that means putting the phone down for 10 seconds and noticing what you're sitting on. Maybe that means saying to yourself, that's the voice. That's the pattern, and I don't have to follow it right now. I want you to go back to that moment that you wrote about in question 1 and write what it would have looked like to use the phrase, start again, right there. What would you have done differently in the next 30 seconds? Write that down too. Be as detailed as you can, because this is where transformation happens. So let's put 3 minutes on the clock here. And let's go. Imagine you're back in that exact moment. Same place, same trigger. Same voice starting a script, but this time, right in the middle of it, you say two words to yourself. Start again. What happens next? What would you have done differently in the next 30 seconds if you said start again when you recognize where your judge was? Be specific. Remember, starting again isn't about making the voice stop. It's about choosing what you do next. The voice is going to say its thing. It's going to happen. The next 30 seconds after that is where this practice is. What would you do differently if you would have said start again when that voice came in? Just under a minute to go here. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and move on to question 3. So you've named a real moment. You've imagined what start again would have looked like inside of it. So now I want you to look ahead. This week, the next 7 days, you already know where the voice is going to show up. You've lived with it long enough. You know the situations. You know the triggers. You know the time of day it tends to get loud. Name one. One specific moment this week where you know or you can feel that the voice is going to fire. Maybe it's a meeting on Wednesday. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's the morning alarm. Maybe it's Sunday night when the weight of the week ahead starts pressing down. Just name the moment. And then write your plan for the first 30 seconds after the voice arrives. What are you going to do? One breath? Maybe you're going to notice what you're touching. Are you going to say start again and take a specific step? Write it like a commitment to yourself because honestly, that's what this is. And when you get to that moment and that voice runs its whole script before you catch it, you already know what to do. It's that simple. You're going to say the word start again. Write down the moment. Write down the plan. Make it real. Because it is real. And it's waiting for you. Look ahead at this week. And recognize where that voice is going to show up. Where it's probably going to show up. You know where it's going to show up. You got one. Pick a moment. And then write down your plan for interrupting it and then what you're going to do. Just about a minute to go here. So what we're doing is we're going to name a specific moment this upcoming week where you know or you can feel that that voice is going to come in and attack you or attack somebody else or attack your circumstances. You're going to name the moment. And then you're going to write your plan. What are you going to do? Are you going to take a breath? Are you going to notice what you're touching? Are you going to say start again? Whatever comes up for you. It's the right thing, but pick something. Make this agreement with yourself. You're this close to unlocking the best of yourself. All right, we got there, guys. We got there. Let's see here. There we go. We took that thing out of here. So here's what I want to name before we close. Start again was never just a Monday night thing. It's always been meant for the moments in between. The meeting that went sideways, the conversation that left you standing there replaying it, the morning you grabbed your phone before your feet hit the floor, the evening when the voice starts running its review of everything you should be doing differently. Those moments are where this practice lives, and the reason it works is because it's small enough to use it anyway. You don't need a journal. You don't need a quiet room, and it's okay if you have a journal. But you don't need 10 minutes of meditation either, although it's nice to do. You need 2 words in one breath. Start again. Then one small move. Unclench your jaw, but do it on purpose. Feel what you're sitting on. Take a breath before you respond. That's it. That's the practice, and it doesn't need a month or a room or an arc to work. It just needs you paying attention to your autopilot one moment at a time. Your anchor phrase this week is going to be the same as it was last week. Start again. But the assignment is different this week. Every other week, I've asked you to use the anchor phrase in the morning, connected to an alarm or connected to your breath, connected to the 10-second practice. This week, I'm asking you to use it once in the middle of your life, in a moment that has nothing to do with your morning routines. A moment where the voice fires and you catch it, where you feel that old pattern start to pull and you say 2 words before it gets the wheel. You say, start again. In the car, at your desk, in the kitchen, even in the middle of a thought spiral that no one else even knows is happening. Once you see it, one time, that's the assignment. Catch it. And when you do it, notice something. Notice that it works the same way at 3 p.m. that it works at 6 a.m. Notice that you don't need a room or a session or a prompt. Notice that the practice was always portable. We were just building it in a safe place first. This is what it looks like out in the wild. That's what we're doing, is practicing to do this when nobody's watching, and you've done great. Tonight, you did something worth acknowledging. You took the practice out of this room and you put it into a real moment from your life. You imagined what start again looks like at a 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, You made a specific plan for this week, a moment you named, a response you chose, a commitment that you wrote down. That is the work. That is mental health fitness. This is Mental Health Month. And here's what I want to say as we close this out. Mental Health Month isn't just a month. It's every day. It's a choice. It's Saturday morning when the voice is the only company you've got. Mental health is what you do in that moment. And now you have something to do with it. This was 4 weeks of groundwork. We caught the pattern. We questioned the voice. We built a morning practice. We learned how to come back after the miss. And tonight, we made it portable. That's the foundation. Starting next week, we're building on it. We're going to talk about self-love, the real version, the one where you learn to talk to yourself the way you talk to someone you actually care about. We're going to work on countering the voice with something that's actually true instead of just trying to quiet it. And we're going to build the kind of positive habits that hold because they're rooted in self-awareness instead of willpower or being pushed. Clear Start Mondays is here every Monday at 6 in the same room, same format. We just got some new ground to cover, and we're going to do that. So if something opened up for you this month and you want to understand it more deeply, the Saboteur Assessment is available for you at rvscoaching.com/saboteur. It will show you exactly which patterns have been running underneath your life, and it is free. It takes about 5 minutes, and it will give you the language for the things we've been looking at together. You're also welcome to reach out to me directly at John, John, at rvscoaching.com. I believe in you guys, and I will see you next Monday. Thank you for being here. Be well.